In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about McDonald's nuggets, a comically large snake, rewriting the love story, being a Disney demon, and gargoyles versus grotesques. They're actually grotesques. Oh my God, the rage. In our discussion of White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And that was not even as sexy as this episode.
Daddy.
No, don't say that. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult books, series, authors, and voice actors that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to discuss White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout.
Standard disclaimer. If you haven't read this book, I'm just going to do the whole episode links. Please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read or listened and don't want to be spoiled, I can't do it anymore.
Spoil me, spoil me.
Stop listening to us and go read or listen to the book and come back. If you haven't done this before, to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers or being spoiled, or if you just like the show so much that you don't care about any of that, then listen up.
I would like to open with an apology for everything that's happened and everything that's going to happen.
I think that's reasonable. But look. We've had some really good books lately. And now...
End of sentence.
And now... we're having some trashy angel and demon books. So just deal with it. It's a new month. We've got our new theme, Angels and Demons, and this is what happens when Amanda digs back into the old Angel and Demon books she read a long time ago, and this one as part of a bad YA book club.
Hey, you did not tell me that before I read this book.
I didn't?
No.
Oh, that's why I read this one. It was bad YA book club.
Oh, no, that entirely changes things.
Oh, did you think I liked it?
No. God, I hope you didn't.
I mean, I loved it. I loved it because it's like so...
There's degrees of love. Love is a spectrum.
It is. Love is a spectrum. Aww. It's Pride Month also, everyone.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, so, yeah, like I loved this one.
I hate love hate this one. You love to hate it, hate to love it?
Not hate to love, no. Love to hate. You gotta admit, it was trashy and a little bit fun.
I fully admit it was completely trashy. I'll skip to my head to my initial thought if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
This is the horniest, underline horniest book we have covered on the podcast, and we've discussed after. This is hornier, and I will give a full explanation as to why in the discussion.
Yeah, okay, because I was gonna say, is it though? But it is. You're right, it is, because after
was a hate.
After had all the sex scenes. This one did not. So we haven't...
After was sex and abuse.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And pain, both by the reader and the reader.
The reader.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. So I have some background information.
Please.
Yeah. And I guess I already said my initial thoughts that we read this one because I read it in Bad YA Book Club. So that's my initial thoughts. But the background info that I found is from years and years and years ago, because obviously this book came out years and years and years ago. And this is from an article by USA Today, and they're talking about young adult and new adult books. And this was like when new adult was very first becoming a thing. And I just pulled a couple of clips from what Jennifer said about it. And it's pretty important, especially with what's going on right now in the world of, books. She says, I really haven't seen them classified as that yet, talking about new adult. What I've seen tossed around is upper YA terminology, which signifies that the book does have more mature content, etc. So those books are probably closer to new adult, and upper YA may be closer to middle grade. Some refer to those books as clean YA, and I really loathe that term. Using the word clean for one group of books is suggesting the other books are dirty, which, yes, Jennifer.
I agree. Oh, I do not like that.
And then later on, they're talking about sex in books, and she says, no, having sex or not having sex in detail or fade to black in a book should never be a determining factor if you're trying to figure out if the book is YA or not. Say it again for people in the back. Having sex in a YA book should not even become the most important angle of the book, overshadowing the storyline, plot, and characters. The funny thing is, in my opinion, a teen picks up a YA book with sex in it. The sex part is not even what they end up focusing on. It's just a part of the overall story.
Agree. Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah.
Do you know, just adding into this fact, when I was a teenager, when I was at school, secondary school, from age 11 plus in the UK, the amount of people I know who were 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, having sex, and there were abortions everywhere because, by the UK, we allow it. It was almost a form of birth control at one point because it just seemed to be so prolific. So to deny that sex happens for teenagers in books is just absolutely ridiculous, and it is not the key factor. I doubt any teenager will pick up a YA book and go, oh, I'm going to read this for all the sex scenes. Ooh.
Yeah, that's not what happens.
You're going to pick it up because you want to be the elf queen.
Yeah.
Or you want to go on the adventure with, the gorgeous prince.
Yeah.
Not because of the sex scene.
No.
You go to the erotica section for that. And if you're in the library, I really doubt you're going to go to the erotica section.
No.
Because teenagers get embarrassed by sex as well.
Yeah, and just imagine, Claire, a world where librarians have to move these types of books to a different section. Censorship. Sorry, excuse me, I had something in my throat. It was censorship that was in my throat, actually, by the way.
Oh, I thought you had constitutional rights.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. But imagine them having to come up to the desk to ask a staff member where to find these books. Oh, wait, they're probably not going to do that because they're probably embarrassed about that. So then guess what happens to the book? It doesn't get checked out. Censorship. Sorry, it just keeps happening.
I'm sure you can get some medication for that. Not in America, you don't have.
No, we don't. We don't have that. What are you talking about? If we did, it would cost too much money to get.
It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I hate it. Anyway.
To be honest, though, I mean, out of all of the books that we've covered, and we've covered a lot of books.
We have.
How many have actually had sex in them? A handful?
A handful. Not many.
I could only name, for definite, one?
No. We read, just the book that we just read last week had sex in it.
Did it?
Not...
Yes, it
Yeah.
did. It had a fade to black sex scene.
Yeah. Most of them
Okay,
have...
2.
No, and all of the House of Night books.
Oh, God, yeah.
Almost. Not all of them. Almost all of them.
Good chunk. Well, handful. So that, to be honest though, this is actually telling you a lot more. It's telling you how insignificant the sex scenes were in those books.
Yeah.
That I can barely recall the ones that do.
Yeah, and we don't count after because...
Oh, God, I hate it.
I mean, but we should count it because people do
two
read
books
it. And we did read it, and it does have sex in. And finger banging.
Oh, God. Stomach quivering.
Oh, yeah. Oh, her stomach was so tight. And her legs were straight. What else? I can't remember. It was so...
Do you know what? If any of the listeners haven't actually heard our review of After, please go. It's freaking hilarious.
That was such a funny episode. I loved it so much.
Absolutely hilarious.
I loved it.
The book's shit. I'll point blank say it's shit. But our discussion of it is one of the funniest episodes I think we've done.
Yeah. And do you know what else about that book being shit? We're not telling people not to read it. We're letting people read it. I mean, we did say that we read it. We did say we read it so you wouldn't have to. But
I mean, you could just read our summary on the website on fictionalhangover.com instead.
Right. But also
that'll save you stop sacrificing too much time.
But you know what? You can also read the book because it's available for you to read if you want to read it.
It's nothing like the movie.
Anyway, we should get off our soapbox and start talking about...
I feel like we're going to get a message off Drew defending the movie.
We probably will, but that's okay. It's fine.
Don't at us, Drew. No, actually, you can.
It's fine. It's fine. We like it. Okay.
Anywho, let's go and delve into angels and demons.
Yes. Well, this one's just demons. Well, no, I guess there are angels mentioned, but they don't play a huge role in this one. Anyway, apparently, demons love McDonald's. Well, this poser demon certainly does. While Stacy and Sam see a middle-aged woman digging into a pile of burgers, Layla, who is half gargoyle, half demon, sees a demon without a soul. I can't handle that she's half gargoyle. Just gargoyles in general. It cracks me up. This particular variety has an infectious bite and insatiable hunger. While Stacy argues that Twilight is a classic and they should have been allowed to cover it for their literature report, Layla is planning how she's going to tag the poser demon. All Layla needs to do is touch the demon for it to be tagged, which means her adopted family, the Wardens, who are full-blooded gargoyles, can hunt it down later. Giving Stacy and Sam a lame excuse to hang back in the restaurant, Layla then follows the poser demon out and through the city streets. Twilight's a classic.
I laughed so hard at that one. Just anywho. Layla follows for a short time, but still manages to lose her as she's distracted by a human with a black soul. Eventually, Layla finds the poser demon again in an alley. However, she transforms into a rare seeker demon. Before the seeker demon can attack, an upper-level demon interrupts, and he's a turtle jaw-dropping hottie.
Yeah, he is. He is. He really is.
Layla tries to back away as the two demons fight. However, the hottie gets the upper hand and throws the seeker away. As Layla watches, the snake tattoo on the hottie's arm slithers off towards her. The hottie tells Layla not to be scared of Bambi. But Layla has had one too many crazy things happen and she runs off. Unfortunately, as she thinks to call for help, she realises she's lost her phone. Again.
Layla eventually returns home, driven by Morris, the warden's inscrutable chauffeur. As they draw close to the house, Layla notices 6 new gargoyles resting on the building. Great. Visitors. It gets worse as the visitors are Elijah and his son, Peter, both of whom would happily murder Layla. Once inside, Layla heads first to the kitchen for cookie dough before going to see her brother, Zane. Oh, Zane. Thankfully, he isn't really her brother. They were just raised as siblings after she was adopted because Zane is a hottie and Layla has what would be considered extremely inappropriate thoughts about him. Zane notices she's been eating cookie dough and looks a little worse for wear, so Layla explains about the poser demon turned seeker demon. As they talk, Zane is sure Layla is hiding something, that she took a soul. But she didn't. She doesn't want to tell Zane about the haughty demon.
The next day, Stacy calls Layla out for ditching her and Sam, and for the whole day, Layla is exhausted and distracted by the colour of people's souls around her. The mean girl bully, Eva's soul, is particularly distracting as it swirls of deep purple bleeding into black. The day isn't a total loss, however, as the haughty demon walks into one of her classes and drops her missing cell phone on her desk. Layla is stunned, and, Stacy, she instantly starts drooling. And I'm not saying where from.
It's really hard to say who's hornier in this book.
It really is. The horniness in the summary has been toned down.
It has been. It really, really has been. But it's hard to say who is hornier. Because I'm pretty sure it's Stacy, but Layla is a very close second.
Oh gosh, yes.
The haughty demon admits to having been thinking about Layla all night. With Hattie's sudden arrival, Layla can't deal with the test they're about to have, so she runs off to the bathroom. The haughty demon follows and stops Layla from calling Zane by throwing her cell phone into the toilet. Wah wah. Haughty demon introduces himself as Roth, says he knows she is half demon, and wants to know why she let herself be brainwashed by the wardens. Roth also tells Layla she can do more than see souls. At least, the last one he knew could. Does she know nothing of her heritage? No, she does not. Not at all. As Roth leaves, he tells Layla she needs to stop tagging demons and to not let her family know about him. At the end of the day, out of spite, Layla decides to go tagging and is able to get a few. As Layla is waiting for Morris to pick her up, she gets a weird feeling, and looking around, she spots another upper-level demon watching her.
Ooh. Back at the Wharton house, Layla goes looking for Zane and finds him with Danica, a female gargoyle who is super nice, but Layla just hates anyway. She especially hates that Danica looks a little too cosy with Zane. Not wanting to watch her not brother with another woman, Layla makes excuses and leaves. However, Zane follows. There is some awkward sort of flirting, not flirting, that takes place about being awesome sauce with extra sauce before they're interrupted by Abbott, Zane's father and the leader of their clan. Abbott has been contacted by Layla running out of class and doesn't really believe she was sick. Abbott then makes icky remarks about Danica being mating age and that it's time for Zane at 21 to settle down. Any protests Layla makes about this are instantly dismissed. This happens a whole heck of a lot with Abbott.
It really, really does, and it's annoying.
Oh.
To avoid everyone, Layla goes to her old treehouse. As she's lying there, she pulls out her mother's ring she wears on a chain around her neck before falling asleep. Zane wakes her, and they have some weird not flirting again. Zane explains that Pater is staying with them for some time, and he won't let anything happen to her again. Zane also gives her a new phone. As Layla leaves the treehouse, she spots an abnormally large snake watching her from a tree.
At school the next day, Layla and Stacy are talking about the new hottie.
Oh, the hottie.
Speak of the devil as well, and guess who walks in?
Oh.
Roth sits in front of Layla, so Layla uses this opportunity to look at his snake tattoo. After class, Layla notices a strong, rotten, foul smell all through the hallways. Roth tells her there is a zombie in the school and takes her to investigate.
Because of course there is.
Of course, better than homeroom. As they're heading to the boiler room, they run into Assistant Principal Mackenzie, and Layla sees some of Roth's abilities as he reads Mackenzie's black soul. Leaving the depraved administrator, they head to the boiler room where it smells the worst. Behind a fake skeleton, they hear a growl and the zombie shambles toward them. Roth uses one of the fake skeleton's arms to beat the zombie to goo, and the goo covers Layla. When Layla arrives home later, she decides to wake Abbott to tell him about the zombie, and it's kind of a big deal. Unfortunately, Peter interrupts her, and he's a total sleazy dickhead asshole with all of his threats and insults. We hate him.
Yes, we do.
Ignoring the rules, Layla slams her knee between his legs as he grabs her throat forcefully and spits vile insults at her.
Oh, I hate Peter.
We hate him.
Oh. Later, Abbott agrees it would be best if Elijah and Peter's clan were not visiting. However, it's not really for the sake of Layla's safety. Abbott assumes Layla wants to talk boys or something else teenage girls are bothered by, so she has to blurt out that actually she wanted to tell him about the zombie in her school. Instead of congratulating Layla for confronting and dealing with the zombie, minus any mention of Roth, Abbott berates her for dealing with it, the same as the other night when she followed the Seeker. Zane suggests she stop tagging for her own safety, but Layla is not impressed by this suggestion.
At school, Stacy tells Layla she can tell she's been crying and she needs to drop Zane and get with the hardy Roth, who would make her cry, but in a good way. Oh, Stacy. During class, Stacy flirts spectacularly and outrageously with Roth and invites him to lunch with them. After school, Roth continues to dog Layla, so she's not in the mood to go tagging. But then she spots a fiend. Roth persuades her not to play judge, jury and executioner, as essentially that's what tagging is, and see what the fiend is up to. The fiend is on a construction site, and when the last person leaves the scaffolding, it touches it, making it all crash to the ground. It was like it purposely waited for the last human to be safe before committing its brutal act of inconvenience. They leave and find another fiend messing with traffic lights and causing horrendous acts of fender benders and noise pollution through car horn blaring. Deciding to leave the mischievous and mostly harmless demons alone, they go for muffins and Layla asks about hell. It's hot, and it's a twisted version of the human world, so Roth much prefers it up here. Roth asks Layla about when she started tagging and if she realises the wardens are using her. Layla is thoroughly convinced the wardens are good because she is a warden. Honest, I am a warden, I'm definitely a warden, and that she is helping. She's a warden.
She's a warden, everyone.
Definitely.
She's a warden.
Definitely.
The conversation continues as they eat. It turns out Roth is 18 years old, and not in dog years. He actually really is 18. Demonic maturity is very fast compared to humans, and his current appearance is just a skin, not what he actually looks like in his true form. Suddenly, Layla spots a sinner, her soul tainted brown. Layla doesn't know what she's done, but she wants to eat her soul. Roth distracts her by asking her about the ring she wears on a chain until the woman leaves. When they leave a little later, Roth asks her about never being kissed. Layla obviously resents that she hasn't been kissed and says that kissing anyone with a soul is impossible, as she would just eat it.
That is not the Drew Barrymore movie I remember.
No. Oh, that might have made that movie better. That movie was really fun, but it would have been better. Excuse me, something sexy is about to happen.
Ooh.
Roth swoops down and kisses Layla then, because he has no soul, so she can't suck it away. Layla enjoys the kiss more than she should admit. Excuse me, Layla, you're half demon. Why can't you like a demon? It's okay.
Because she's been brainwashed.
It's true, she has been.
They start talking again, but this time it's about Layla's mom. Roth tells her she shares her abilities. Wait, what? Roth knows who her mom is? Roth confirms she was known by many, many names, but most commonly Lilith. Yes, the Lilith.
Oh.
And because her mom, Layla, is on Hell's Most Wanted list. On that bombshell, Layla spots Morris's car and heads toward it, but gets an uncomfortable feeling in the line of taxis. Something isn't right, like there is a demon nearby, and it's something with serious malice and raw evil. Morris can tell it too, and he books it home, but the taxi following them is the source of the bad feeling, and the driver has been possessed.
Oh.
The taxi slams into them, causing them to crash.
The front of the car is crumpled, and there's blood everywhere. From the mess, the possessed tries to attack, but Morris shoots it with a gun stored in the glove compartment. Tendrils of acrid smoke come pouring out of the bullet hole and mouth of the possessed. Bambi arrives then and swallows the evil essence, but the smell of sulfur lingers. Back at the Warden house, it's chaos. A possessed human is a big deal, TM. Zane is nowhere to be seen as Layla is debriefed, but not comforted because her feelings are not a concern. Abbott forbids her to tag again and nearly pulls her out of school. Layla doesn't see Zane that night, but she does hear him return.
The next day is Saturday, and Zane usually stays up late after his late-night warden watches so he can get early morning coffee with Layla. Layla, under the impression that this will still happen despite her lockdown, is disappointed to find out that Zane must have forgotten, as Abbott tells her he's gone for breakfast with Danica. Layla goes back to bed and sleeps the day away, only waking when Zane comes in. She confronts him about being forgotten and feeling like a fool in front of the clan. Layla realises Zane looks exhausted, but that doesn't stop her from feeling forgotten and replaced. As Zane leaves, he tells her it's difficult to treat her like an adult as she's acting like a child.
That's a good one.
Then tells her Abbott has spoken to the Alphas and they are coming.
Ooh.
Layla really shouldn't be there when they arrive, because the Alphas, they hate her.
Yeah, just side note, everyone, Alphas are angels. And they're coming. And they're pissed. With nowhere to go, Layla hides in the treehouse again. But not until after she watches the arrival of the Alphas. Getting impatient because she's been exiled out of the house for hours and it's very late, Layla tries to call Zane's cell, but he doesn't answer, and eventually her calls start going to voicemail. Stop liking him. He is not nice to you. While she's sitting there, shocked and indignant, Pater slimes into the treehouse. Layla realizes in a panic that Pater isn't there just to belittle and threaten her. He's there to sexually assault, rape, and kill her. As Layla and Pater struggle, Layla spots Bambi, and Pater accuses her of having a familiar and throws Bambi away. This reminds Layla of something Roth told her, that pure souls are capable of evil. Desperately trying to save herself, Layla needs to use her greatest weapon, her ability to suck Pater's soul, which tastes delicious.
Yummy num-nums.
Pater turns sallow and dark veins shudder through him. He's not withering like a human who lost their soul would. He's transforming into a monster. Suddenly, Roth, in his demonic form, appears from the shadows, slices Pater for being a bastard, and rips out his spine for throwing Bambi. And we all cheer.
Yay!
Yay, Roth.
As Layla sits in shock that she took a soul, Roth disposes of what is left of Peter and collects Bambi. He then picks Layla up and dark wings sprout from his back, flies her to his place. Layla's convinced she killed Peter, but Roth points out he was the one to make the killing blow, thank you very much. However, Layla taking a whole soul is something. As Roth doctors her cuts and bruises, 3 kitty cats come to investigate Layla. They are just so cute and fluffy, and a complete contrast to the tattooed bad boy persona he displays. As is the beautiful flower garden he shows her on the roof. Roth points out that he, like most demons, isn't just one-dimensional. Roth again says that hell is looking for her, and that zombie and possessed taxi driver are proof. Layla is something special, half demon, half warden, and despite what her adopted family remind her of regularly, they are no better than she, even though they have pure souls. The big guy did that to make up for creating them in the first place. Roth confirms he works for the big boss downstairs and has been charged with keeping her safe from the big bads, and reminds her again that she is the daughter of Lilith, and tells her that someone wants her because of her bloodline.
Roth tells Layla they need to find the Lesser Key of Solomon, a book which catalogs demons and details how to summon them, trap them, and do all kinds of other fun stuff. Lilith can't be summoned, and neither can her original children, the Lilin. But, like all things though, there's a loophole. The original Lesser Key of Solomon describes how to create the Lilin, and like most spells, there are stages. This one needs the blood of a child of Lilith, the dead blood of Lilith herself, and a couple of other stages only detailed in the original text. Once the spell is completed, the Lilin will be born again on Earth. The child of Lilith is Layla, and Lilith's dead blood is in the ring Layla carries on the chain around her neck. It's very convenient. Hell does not want the Lilin to be free, especially on Earth, so Roth needs to make sure neither her blood nor Lilith's blood is spilled. Layla realizes Abbott has to know all this and has kept it from her. Roth starts getting all flirty again and talking about kissing and wanting more. But it doesn't go anywhere because Layla needs to go home and not tell the wardens she ate a soul.
At her insistence, Layla heads home alone but can feel Roth following her through the streets of DC. Her walk gives her time to reflect on everything Roth has told her and calm her emotions, though later she will feel sick from the soul curse she consumed and almost welcomes the sickness as penance. As Layla sits, weak and sick on the bench, she hears Zane's 1969 Impala pull up in front of her. Zane dashes out and embraces her. Over Zane's shoulder, Layla sees Roth turn and leave. Finally, after a long hug, Zane sees Layla's injuries and realises it was Peter who tried to hurt her because he found her bag and cell in the treehouse, along with splatters of her blood, and Peter hasn't been seen since last night. Zane gets upset and, with his heightened emotions, he starts to change into his gargoyle form, but fortunately Layla is able to calm him down. Zane threatens to kill Peter for what he did, but Layla is able to reassure him Peter is dead, killed by a demon who suddenly appeared out of nowhere. She doesn't mention Roth's name. Back home, Abbott questions Layla about the demon who saved her, and she keeps the description vague, saying only that he looked like a warden. Abbott seems somewhat mollified, but is still suspicious over the clothes she is wearing, which were given to her by Roth. Layla can hardly say the clothes belong to Roth, the high-level demon, so she gives the lame response that they're all gym clothes. Suspicious Abbott is suspicious.
Later that night, Layla vomits up Peter's soul. It claws its way out of her throat and turns to mist. After a hot shower, Layla crawls into bed when Zane visits. Because she looks like crap, Zane asks her if she ate a soul, which she denies. Zane's angry, too, that he failed to answer his phone, that Peter hurt her, that he didn't protect her. Zane settles next to her in bed and answers Layla's questions about why the Alphas are here. Apparently, there's been an increase in upper-level demon activity. As Layla falls asleep, Zane asks again if she ate a soul, promising he won't tell anyone. So she confesses that she did.
Ooh. At school on Wednesday, Layla still isn't looking or feeling great, and Stacey points out Roth has not been seen since Friday. Layla accidentally let slip that she hung out with Roth over the weekend, and Stacey instantly wants details and is overly concerned with Layla's virginity status and really needs to get her priority in order, which Sam points out. Thank you, Sam.
Yes, thanks, Sam.
The next day, Roth finally makes an appearance to steal Layla and save her from biology. Roth takes Layla downstairs to an old part of the school. Roth asks why she was off sick, and Layla explains about her post-soul-eating illness. He makes a weird face at this, but instead of saying anything, he inspects her wounds before horny teasing and horny flirting with her, pointing out that he can do things to her that Zane cannot. Getting back to business, thank you, they compare information about the increased upper-level demon activity and decide they need to work together to get the key. However, that's not going to be easy. Luckily, Roth points out, there is a seer near.
Heading out in Roth's Porsche, with a quick stop at the grocery store for chicken, they head to the seer, who turns out to be a 9-year-old boy with a pure soul playing Assassin's Creed. The seer tells them that the end result of releasing the Lilin is the apocalypse. Womp womp. And the only way to defeat them is to kick it off early. He also gives them a very cryptic clue about a monolith to find the lesser key. Instead of heading back to school, they head to Roth's. Before they leave the parking complex, the overhead lights start to flicker and pointy, hairless rak demons emerge from the shadows. As one, they attack Roth, who displays some kick-ass demon skills and starts to take them out with Bambi's help. Layla can't stand by and watch, so she draws attention to herself, and surprisingly, she can hold her own in a fight, thanks to Zane's tutelage. Once the rak demons are put down, they continue into Roth's building.
Roth pulls out a commercial copy of the Lesser Key of Solomon. It's incomplete, of course, but it may be a start. I love the idea of him going to Barnes & Noble and getting it.
Yeah. It's got like the movie cover too.
Yes, it's the movie cover. And he picks up a couple of mangas as well.
Yeah.
It's filled with pictures of demons, and one sparks Layla's interest. It's Roth.
Ooh.
Astaroth, the crown prince of hell. Well, not exactly. He's one in a long line of Astaroth. Because they are sitting on Roth's bed, one thing turns to another and they start kissing again. Before things go too far, though, Layla calls a halt, which Roth respects. They spend the rest of the afternoon talking about Roth's family until it's time for Layla to fake being in school as Zane is picking her up.
Days pass, and Layla remains vigilant for demon attacks. Over lunch, Layla, Roth, Stacy, and Sam read a newspaper article calling for the dissolution of the Wardens as they're a sign of the apocalypse. Realizing how much Sam enjoys facts and riddles, Layla gives him the seer's cryptic clue about the lesser key. He works it out straight away. The monolith in the riddle is the Washington Monument. Duh. And it just so happens to be a full moon Saturday night, which is required to find the key. It's going to be difficult to sneak out of the Warden stronghold to help, so Layla will pretend to be at a sleepover at Stacy's.
Abbott's office door is closed when Layla goes to ask her big favour. Zane comes by while she's waiting and they talk. Abbott has had a lot of closed doors meeting lately, and neither knows what is going on. Zane also notes Layla seems different, but the only thing Layla can think of is that she's been kissed. Not the fact that she's consumed a soul and has a shit ton of, demons coming out.
Yeah,
no. She's been kissed. Eventually, Abbott is free, and Layla makes up a story about a bio test and studying with Stacy Saturday night. But Zane protests. Stacey is more than okay helping Layla have an overnight date with Roth, and her only complaint is Layla's boring practical outfit. We've all had that friend.
As it's still early to retrieve the key, Layla and Roth head to Roth's apartment for a while. So, of course, they start making out and things take a hot and heavy turn. But they still don't go all the way. Eventually, it's time to leave, and to help with their clandestine task, Roth makes them invisible. Layla notices a strange shimmer on the water at the Washington Monument, and when she touches it, she realizes it's not wet. The water is an illusion.
Ooh.
They walk into and under the reflection pool into a room that looks medieval. As they try to get through a door at the end of the corridor, a swarm of little ugly demons, referred to as LUDs, attack. While Roth fights them, Layla gets the door open and they're able to move on. This next chamber has bats, so they need to be quiet, which of course means they make out until the bats leave. Once they stop lip-locking and start investigating the chamber, they spot 2 handprints, one for a demon and one for a gargoyle. They both place their hands in, which reveals a cubby holding the Lesser Key of Solomon.
Grabbing the book, the chamber starts to shake and come down like it's Indiana Jones booby-trapped. They're able to escape and make it to the metro tunnels. As they head back to Roth's apartment to look at the book, Layla spots a falling star. Oh crap, that's not a star, it's a warden. Oh shit, it's Nikolai. He's followed by Abbott.
Mm-hmm.
As Nikolai and Roth go toe-to-toe, Abbott grabs Layla. Zane eventually arrives and takes her back to the warden house, so Roth flickers out of existence as she's flown away. Yeah, this is not good.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Abbott berates Layla. They both accuse each other of lying, and Abbott demands to know that Layla is still a virgin. Her virginity status, apparently, is a key part of the incantation. Insert eye roll here, because of course it is.
It's so lame.
Now, the real question is, how does Abbott know what is in the incantation? Apparently, it's her innocence that is important, and it's also linked to her not taking a soul. Oopsie.
That ship has sailed.
Abbott demands Layla give him Roth's name, but she refuses despite his belittling tactics, threats, and anger. Eventually, she's able to go to her room, grounded for life. Thankfully, she's still able to go to school, but unfortunately, Roth doesn't show.
A week goes by and there is still no sign of Roth. At night, Layla's cravings for something sweet are overwhelming. They weren't so bad when she was around Roth, but now they seem intolerable. Layla is sure she can smell Roth or sense him despite there being no sign of the hardy demon.
Oh.
One day, as she lingers in the school bathroom, a crow enters the room and transforms into an unfamiliar demon called Cam. Cam grabs Layla's throat, but she fights back. Then Roth enters the bathroom. They banter until Roth points out he can't let Cam hurt Layla, so they fight and Roth breaks Cam's neck. He explodes into sulphur smoke and shatters the windows in the bathroom. Roth grabs Layla and takes her outside as the whole school gets evacuated. As they're standing outside, Zane comes over. Roth and Zane have a go at each other, but something Roth says to Zane strikes home. The wardens have been doing a terrible job at keeping Layla safe. Can't really deny that. Later, back in Abbott's office, the wardens finally listen to Layla explain that the demons are trying to stop the apocalypse. In other revelations, Abbott tells her her father is Elijah, the clan leader who wants her dead, and the father of Peter. This explains why Elijah hates her so much. She was probably the one who ordered Peter to kill her. Suddenly, Layla realises that she's taken her half-brother's soul.
Excuse me though, do we also realize that her half-brother tried to rape her probably on more than one occasion?
Yeah, that is neglected in the text.
It is.
That little divot.
It is.
The onus is only put on Layla taking her half-brother's soul.
Of course.
And not about him being an absolute dirtbag.
No, not at all. Later, Zane catches Layla going crazy in her bedroom and takes her out for ice cream. As they eat, Layla confesses she took Peter's soul, which Zane already knew she had because they already talked about this.
Yeah, it's weird.
But, it wasn't because she wanted to. It was because she had to, to stop the rape. As they drive back to the Warden house, Zane slams into a hellion in the middle of the driveway. Zane orders Layla home to get Abbott while he battles the hellion. As Layla runs, tree roots grab at her feet, causing her to fall. With the smell of sulfur in the air, the demon Paimon appears, the demon sent to raise the Lilin. Layla tells him to go to hell and tries to fight, but it's no use. He grabs Layla and her world goes dark.
Layla wakes up bound and looking around, she sees a pentagram painted on the ground in the old gymnasium of her school. From outside the pentagram, Paimon orders his minions to spill the blood of Lilith. Layla tries to stall by getting Paimon to talk, and he says he's doing this all for love. His love for Lilith, who he will free from her prison. Eventually, Paimon's minions break the jewel on Layla's ring, which spills Lilith's dead blood. Then Layla is cut on her arm, spilling her own blood. The next step of the spell is for Layla to take a soul. More of Paimon's minions bring in Zane and Roth. Roth was caught coming in to rescue Zane, and as Layla doesn't take Zane's soul, Paimon will kill Roth.
Damn it. As Paimon starts to draw Roth's blood, Layla tells Paimon she's already taken a soul, so she doesn't need to take Zane's. As Paimon is about to slit Zane's throat now that he's useless to him, Layla's inner demon and gargoyle gather strength and pour forth, giving her the strength to break her bindings as her human skin is shed for her demon gargoyle self. It's amazing. Layla easily cuts through Paimon's minions. Zane shifts into his gargoyle form and Roth into his demon form, and Bambi slithers off his arm because she doesn't want to miss out on the fun. The fight rages until wardens rush in, fighting Paimon's minions. Eventually, Zane and Roth grab Paimon and are able to tie him into the pentagram, changing it into a supernatural-worthy demon trap. With a roar, Paimon grabs Zane, but then Roth pulls Zane out and holds Paimon down as Abbott activates the trap. Bambi slithers to Layla's arms.
A few days later, Layla, who now wears Bambi as a tattoo like Roth used to, heads to Roth's apartment to collect his cats, but learns that they were also tattoos that Roth must have been wearing when he was cast to hell in the demon trap. Checking Roth's roof garden, Layla feels Roth, but knows he can't be there. She did find her necklace, which held Lilith's ring, and knows it wasn't there a moment ago. Layla leaves and can't help but wondering, is this the end? No, because there's two more books.
There's two more books.
And I think there's a novella as well.
There is. It's a prequel.
Ignore that.
It's a prequel novella.
Let's ignore that.
Yeah.
Let's go and eat a pile of burgers like a Seeker demon.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Or you can have nuggets. If you want to have nugs, that's fine.
Oh, I would like to have some nuggets. Or cookie dough? Just squeeze a tube of cookie dough?
Let's get cookie dough instead.
Yes. Yeah.
What's up, fellow book nerds? It's time to feed your fiction shelf addiction. Hear book club style roundtables, bookish chats, and more. Join Tamara and her friends for fantasy and thriller read-alongs and other shenanigans over on the Shelf Addiction podcast. Listen now on your podcatcher of choice. Subscribe for free, and you too can have a shelf addiction.
I haven't eaten a soul today. I could have some cookie dough instead.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well now. Wellity. Where to start? What the frig did you make me read?
I'm sorry. I really thought that I told you that I read this as part of a bad YA book club. This is the same book club that gifted us Hot Pterodactyl Boyfriend.
That was majestic. Do you know what though? I mean, I'm not blaming you because you did say, "Oh, there's this one book where she's half gargoyle, half demon." I was like, "Yeah, I'm sold."
Yeah,
So
because half gargoyle. I mean, that's hilarious. That's hilarious to me. I don't know why.
It is, but right? Can I get this out of my? This has been bugging me since I read it. Okay.
Yeah.
So a gargoyle is actually a decorated water spout that sits on the roof. Okay?
Yes, and can I
What
just
I
say
actually
that
think
wait,
they
hold
are-
on. I need to add in just for clarification. For it to be a gargoyle, water has to be coming out. If no water comes out, it's called a grotesque.
Exactly. This is my other point. That's what a gargoyle is. It's a decorated water spout that projects the water from the roof.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a grotesque.
Yeah.
It's a decorated carving.
Yeah.
And it has no function. It's just pretty. It's just an architectural pretty thing.
Yeah.
And this pisses me off because they are not gargoyles.
They're grotesques.
The grotesques. And it pisses me off. I'm sorry. Ever since I was reading it, I was going, do you have if they had a water power or an affinity with water, I would have been fine with it. But they don't. So do you know what? All she's done is watch Disney's Gargoyles, which I appreciate is a classic and it is faultless, and I won't hear no bad things said about it.
Yeah.
But she's basically watched that and gone, oh, it's a gargoyle. I'm going to write a book about gargoyles because they're so handsome and hot. Tap, 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 tap. No! The grotesques!
Yeah.
Right, okay. Thank you. I'm off my high horse about that.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
that's been inside me for like 2 weeks, Amanda.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks I've needed to say that.
It's fine. It's fine. Grotesqueries aside.
Grotesqueries aside. Inaccuracies.
Yes.
Sam would appreciate this though.
Yeah.
Because Sam liked facts.
Yes. He did. He did
And
like facts.
I would have really appreciated if Sam had had a fact where it was like, did you know a gargoyle is this and a grotesque is that? Because that would have been just, mwah. It would have been just that little nod, kind of funny aside thing.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good.
That would have appreciated instead of facts about bananas or some such nonsense.
Yes, yeah, that would have been good.
But okay. Rage gone.
Yes.
For now.
Yes.
For now.
Yeah. Okay. So, as ridiculous as this book is, it did have...
And inaccurate.
Yes. It did have some enjoyable scenes, I feel.
It did. It did. It wasn't wholly terrible. It had some good scenes.
It did. It really did. I really appreciate, except for why it happened, but I really enjoyed Layla taking Pater's soul.
Yeah, so did I.
Thought that was a really good scene. Although
she needed to take somebody's soul, and his was a long time coming.
Yeah, his was ripe for the taking.
He must not have known. Do you think he knew she was his half sister?
He had to have known.
Because I'm like, I don't feel like that would matter to him.
No, I don't think it would have mattered to him at all. And I hate that it's happened before, clearly.
Yeah.
Because Zane...
Nothing is explicitly said.
But Zane's like, oh, we won't let Peter hurt you again.
And at the very least, we know her status, her virginity status is quote-unquote intact.
Yes.
Because Abbott questioned it later on after spending time with Roth.
Right.
But that doesn't stop it from getting to a point. And it was creepy, and the implications were heavily there that there was some sort of sexual assault.
Well, yeah, I mean, he has her And like this is all it says in the text, and I'm not quoting it exactly, but like he has her pinned down and is trying to pry her legs apart.
Yeah.
You don't just do that if you're, you know,
going to give somebody a nuggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's gross. It's disgusting. He was horrible.
Yeah.
A prime example that a pure soul means is a pure soul is horseshit.
It means absolutely dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because how many times did Roth, who doesn't have a soul, show up and help?
Well, exactly. The fiends, those two fiends, they were out to be mischievous, not to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Layla didn't spend enough time for me. I like that scene with Layla and Roth, actually, when he and showing the fiends. But for me, Layla did not spend enough time really thinking about her actions and really thinking, hang on, what have I been doing? And how many people have I judged because of their soul status, their lack of soul, and not by their actions?
Yeah. And like, why does she only tag demons? Why doesn't she tag the people with, you know, the black souls, like her creepy teacher or administrator
the assistant
guy
principal Mackenzie
with child porn on his computers? Like, why don't we do anything about him?
Well, exactly. There's that other one, the Randall with the dark brown soul, who she got thirsty for.
Yeah. Why don't we do anything about them?
It doesn't make any sense. And you can't have one rule for one and another rule for everybody else.
You can.
But that's what the wardens have got.
Yeah, because the wardens are clearly led by angels, and we all know that
no angel has done any wrong.
Is the only way to go.
I can't think of... Oh, can you think of any angels that might have, I don't know, done something naughty or vaguely against the rules and maybe fallen, perhaps?
No, I don't know.
I'm no theologist. No theologist, but... Do you know what? I find angel books problematic because angel books rely more heavily on religion than what a demon book does. Like, if a demon's in, like, if we just had like a straight up, you know, demonic force, it's more like a spooky book.
Yeah.
It can be more like a spooky book.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, say, for example, My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix.
Yes,
okay?
yeah.
There was no angels in that at all, but there was a demonic force with the possession.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was, like, poltergeist activity. It was a spooky book.
Yeah.
But there was no necessarily religious aspect. There was, I mean, in the terms of the guy the tried to do the exorcism.
Right.
That failed. And it was the power of friendship that saved the day in the end.
Yes.
So, but generally speaking, it's less heavily inclined to say what is right and what is wrong in terms of this is a religious belief.
Yes.
But when you involve angels, you instantly involve, like, Christianity in particular. And I am not an organised religion person, and I find them heavily problematic.
Yes.
And it's not as if the law is accurate as well.
Right.
Because, I mean, did the alphas have multiple eyes? Were they basically like this weird orb of eyeballs coming down?
I hope that they were fucking terrifying looking.
Yeah. But generally speaking, they'll just turn the angels into hotties.
Of course they will, because that's what happens. More on that next week.
Yes. Conversation to be continued.
Yes. And I have things that I appreciate about the book we're talking about next week for reasons as we are discussing today. Anyway, I also liked, getting back to standout moments, I enjoyed the scene with them fighting the zombie in the boiler room of the school, and that there was the very perfect jump scare with the science skeleton, and then Roth yanks the skeleton's arm off and beats the zombie to death with it.
That was hilarious. That reminded me of the Lost Girls and beating them with the wet end of their own arm.
Yes.
And that made me giggle a lot.
Yes. Yeah, I really enjoyed that scene.
Yes, same.
And
same
I also really enjoyed Layla's transformation.
Oh, that was a long time coming.
It was. And it was kind of hinted at that, like, she didn't have the ability to turn into a gargoyle, and she never even thought about trying to turn into a demon, because they're trying to squash that side out of her.
Bears.
But I appreciate that she was able to transform into weird amalgamation of demon and warden gargoyle.
Demon, if you were to draw a typical demon and draw a typical gargoyle, they're not too dissimilar.
No, except for the gargoyle is made of stone and has water coming out because it's a gargoyle, not a grotesque.
Yeah. Complexion. But then, are you going to automatically make the devil red, or like the demon red, to make him more like, little like devil-y type character? Because I'm sure they can be cracked stone and grey as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they can be. I mean, Roth...
I haven't met many demons in my life, to be
right,
honest.
just, one or two. But Roth is described as, like, his skin is, black as night. He's like solid black.
I can imagine being quite shiny, actually.
I feel like he probably was shiny.
Yeah.
With his golden eyes.
He's so hot.
Yeah.
No, I did enjoy those scenes. And I also enjoyed the scene with the seer.
Yes.
The 9-year-old playing Assassin's Creed and giving them lip.
Yes. Yeah, I enjoyed that scene as well. I like that they had to take him a chicken, and they're like, well, normally like a dead chicken is probably what we should take him, but we can't really get that, so let's go to the grocery store.
Here's a packet of cooked chicken.
Yeah. Here's some nugs.
They should have gotten some nugs from McDonald's.
They should have. He's 9. He would have enjoyed that.
I really fancy some McDonald's nuggets now.
Yeah, I know, me too.
I also really appreciated the Twilight conversation.
Oh my god.
At the beginning.
Twilight is a classic.
I have the full conversation coming up. I can give it to you if you would so desire. It's hilarious. Stacey groaned, I can't believe Mr. Leto wouldn't let us do our classics report on Twilight. It is a classic. I laughed, momentarily forgetting about the job I had to do. Twilight is not a classic, Stacey. Edward is definitely a classic in my book. She pulled a hair tie out of her pocket, tugging her shoulder-length hair up, and Twilight is way more interesting than All Quiet on the Western Front. Sam shook his head. I can't believe you just used Twilight and All Quiet on the Western Front in the same sentence. That's the entire thing, but I still enjoyed it.
I love it so much.
I enjoyed Sam's being a random fact guy. It was really good.
Yes. Yeah, I appreciated that as well. Because he always had one ready to go.
He did. And Sam was an underutilized character. He was like in 2 or 3 times, barely. And then it was like, oh, we're too dumb to work out that it's the Washington Monument. Even I worked out it was the Washington Monument.
Yeah.
Come on.
Obviously.
And then to ask him, because you're really good at riddles and facts, can you work this out? Because we're too dumb.
And he's like, honestly. Duh. You don't even have to finish your sentence.
Oh, so that... Stacey.
What about Stacey?
Calm yourself, love. Everything in life does not have to revolve about being fucked.
Are you sure?
You do not have to be boinking everything with a cock for validation. if you want to because you're enjoying it and you're being safe and it's consensual and legal,
Blink away.
boink away with my blessing. No kink shame from me. What I am shaming you about is that you're forcing Layla into a situation or pressurizing her before she is ready or willing or found the right person.
Yeah.
It really annoyed me, and I was like, you need to calm down. It was almost, to me, like Stacey wasn't written by a person who was a teenage girl. It was like, you know those really bad scenes where they describe either a woman's body or sex scenes, and it's
Yes.
quite clearly written
Yes.
by a middle-aged white man who's never known the touch of anybody but his own right hand.
Yes. She's
It was Stacey was that
breasting
kind of
boobily down the
character.
stairs.
Yes, Stacey was that kind of character, and it
Yeah.
was annoying, so annoying. Every time she was in, I was just annoyed because she was just obsessed. And yes, hormones are raging; they are surging
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's not the be all and end all. And I really did get very annoyed by her pressuring Layla that she needs to have sex.
Yeah, but at least Layla didn't do that. She was not pressured.
She wasn't pressured. She probably would have had sex with Roth on a couple of occasions. So very close to it.
Yeah.
But when she was actually, evaluating the situation at the time, she knew she wasn't ready, and Roth respected that, which was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic because all throughout the book, like he's a demon, okay? And he is making sexual jokes and innuendos all the time. Which also got a little annoying, but he respected her.
Yes. No meant no, no matter where they were in their make-out session.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was good.
Yes.
And I think that's a very positive message. And yeah, I agree. He was getting a bit annoying with his sexual innuendo constantly. It was ridiculous. And Layla was horny AF.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just want to be kissed. Then just freaking kiss someone. I don't care if you suck the souls.
Yeah,
Just
but
do
she's
it.
like, the wardens have bashed it into her skull that she can't suck a soul. She can't do that. She can't do it. She can't. No, you can't do that. I wish that she would get away from the wardens. They're bad news.
Yeah. And I know Roth at one point says to her, why did you let the wardens do that? Well, I don't think she'll let the wardens do that, but she has been under their guardianship since she was like 7 years old after being in foster care as well. You're arguing against nature versus nurture at that point.
Yeah.
She knows no better.
Right.
She's going to think no better. And the wardens are toxic. Completely toxic.
They really are. But I will say that they must, as much as I hate Abbott, if he hadn't taken her in, I think that she would be dead by now because of Elijah.
Yes.
So even though he's
100% agree.
completely terrible, at least she's still alive.
Yeah. Having semi-incestuous thoughts about her brother.
But he's not her
Her not
brother.
brother.
She's adopted.
No, but it's one of these tabloid magazine articles, isn't it? Where it's like, I married my brother, and then when you read it, you go, oh no, you were just adopted. So biologically, you're not actually siblings,
do you
but
know,
technically, you are siblings as well.
Do you know what it
because,
is? It's Twilight. It's Twilight.
It is. It is. Damn it.
Yeah, you can't get away from it.
Can't get away from it. It's classic.
It's a classic.
It's classic.
Okay, who is your favorite character?
I mean, there was the obvious.
My
Roth.
obvious, Roth, the lovable
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love
He was-
Roth.
Hardy, but genuinely a nice guy.
Yes.
Bambi. What a gorgeous girl.
Bambi. I love Bambi.
Oh,
I love
bet she's
Bambi.
a bit cheeky as well.
Yeah.
But also, I've really enjoyed the seer because he was a cheeky little bastard.
Yeah. You know, going back to Bambi, I really enjoyed after, you know, at the end, Roth has been sent down to the fiery pits, and Bambi has latched herself onto the only other demon in the room, and it's Layla. And so now Bambi's like squirming all over her all the time, and also fucking with Zane. Really liked that. Like, just popping up, like, oh, they're sitting next to each other on the couch watching a movie, and then suddenly Bambi is like halfway on Layla's face staring at him.
Yes.
I really like it.
Hello.
But I also like that Bambi's like slithering around all over the place, and it tickles. Like,
yes,
that gives me chills just thinking about it. But I really like it. I like Bambi. She's great.
I love Bambi. I'm a little confused though. Something did confuse me, and it was Bambi's size, because she's described as being on Roth's arm, but when Layla has her, she takes up her entire body.
I imagine
how
that
teeny tiny is Layla? Like, is she Thumbelina size?
Yes.
Or how big is Hardy Roth?
Oh, he's so big and strong and throbbing.
Oh, look at those snake tattoo. Oh.
I can
and the little kitty cats.
only imagine that Bambi can change her size. And
so she's purposely got ridiculously big on Layla to really annoy Zane.
Yes, I feel like she's just comically large on purpose to bother Zane.
Comically large snakes.
Yes. Yeah. I also like that the kittens had like Thumper and other Disney names.
Disney names.
Yeah.
It turns out that Roth is a Disney demon.
Yes.
He's a Disney demon. That's amazing. Oh, Chennaborg. Do you think he really looks up to Chennaborg?
Probably.
That's amazing.
So good.
He goes and he gets a big box of McDonald's nuggets, chicken nuggets, and then goes and sees the latest Disney movie.
He does. Which Disney movie do you think is Roth's favorite?
I want to say The Black Cauldron, because it's like the creepiest one.
Yeah. Well, you know,
but realistically, it's probably something like Beauty and the Beast.
Probably.
Or
Or obviously Bambi, because that's who he's named all of his latest tattoos after.
That's true. He really relates to the hunter. If he doesn't say a Robin Hood, I'm going to be upset.
I was
going
to say, he should like Robin Hood. The Jungle Book, maybe.
Golly, what a day.
Oh. All I want now is for Roth to just watch Disney movies all day long.
You know he's done it.
I'm sure he has.
He has to. Just give some chicken to the seer and you'll tell you.
Oh. Were you surprised by anything?
How fucking horny this book is. Seriously. I mean, I know it's called White Hot Kiss. It's a stupid title.
Also, yeah, that's the stupidest title. It doesn't have anything to do with anything.
No. No, I think, like, I'm looking at the book cover behind you, and that's the book cover that I'm familiar with. There's nothing on that cover to reveal anything about the book.
No.
The title has nothing to do with the book.
Claire, the other covers are worse. It's like white cover, handsome man with like beard stubble, and a girl like clinging to him. what does this have to do with demons and gargoyles and Lilith and Lilin and comically large snakes and zombies?
Absolutely freaking nothing.
How disappointed do you think people were when they picked up that original cover, saw the titles called White Hot Kiss, and it's like, oh, here's a demon eating McDonald's on page 1. Like, do you think they, like, flipped it over on the back? Is this, like, miscovered? What is it?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, you picked up the hardback with the dust cover and you're like, oh, hang on, this is being something. No,
somebody's messed it up.
It's just,
Nope.
it just has absolutely no bearing.
No.
And it's just, oh, honestly.
I don't know what a better title would have been.
No, I am desperately trying to think of something. Fucking Hornfest.
Yes. That's a
Holy half gargoyle, half demon.
Yes.
Soul sucker.
Soul sucker. Yes. Sexy soul sucker.
Disney demon and the soul sucker.
Yes.
I don't know. All I know is that the cover of the both varieties reflect nothing in the book.
Yeah.
To be fair though, the two people, the Hardy Boy and the Hardy Girl, I can understand a little bit more
Yeah.
relating to it.
And
but the title,
that's fine,
just
but then
makes
you throw the
no
title in.
freaking
Yeah,
sense.
the title. No.
I would be expecting something called White Hot Kiss not to be in the YA shelves.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it should have had something to do with souls. The title should have had
Yes.
something to do with souls.
Yes. It confused me. Yeah. Anyway. I'll probably think of something after we've finished the episode.
Yeah, probably.
But it just makes very little sense.
Do you know my surprise and something that also made very little sense? We know because of the text that Roth, being like crowned prince of hell, is also the big boss's favorite version of Astaroth thus far, and that he can become invisible. And Layla's like, oh, I can smell him. I can smell him out here in the garden, his rooftop garden. I can smell him here. And oh, there's a necklace that wasn't there a second ago, but oh, I can smell Roth. Hello? How?
If you start doing that punching in the air thing and go, well, if I just so happened to hit
Yeah.
somebody who's invisible, is that on me or is that on you?
How can you not know that he is there? Because he is 100% obviously there.
Because, as we have figured out earlier, Layla dumb.
Layla's not the smartest.
Layla is chicken nuggets short of a happy meal.
Yes, yeah. I was trying to make a cookie reference, you know, but I wanted to say cookie
Layla
dough and not cookie.
is chocolate chip short of cookie dough.
Yeah.
This is spoilers. This is going to be a little bit of a thing for the next couple of weeks. I give zero craps about the lead characters. I have no empathy for them at all.
Yeah.
They could die on page 1. I would be like, hallelujah, I don't have to put up with them anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care anything about them.
No.
And Layla is frustrating because she is dumb. I don't brainwashing to one side, that's happened. And
Yeah.
she has no responsibility in that because she was a child. I give her a lot of leniency for that. But she's dumb.
Yeah.
And she does dumb things.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
But I feel like, now I can't remember exactly what happens in the rest of this series because, I have read it.
I'm sorry.
But I feel like she comes into her own a little bit more now that she can transform and knows that the wardens are clearly not the great people that she believed them to be. So I feel like she comes into her own a little bit more later on in the series. But honestly, I cannot remember what happened.
She needed to mature a lot more quickly. I think this book was too long. Not enough happened in it. We needed to have had the transformation a lot sooner, and some development after the finding of the lesser key of Solomon. That it was nothing. Oh, here we've got the book.
Yeah.
Kidnapping.
Yeah, we probably could have done with 1 or 2 fewer demon attacks.
1 or 2 fewer Stacy turning into a puddle of juices.
Yes.
Over hardy demon boy.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, the fact that Stacy doesn't know anything about Layla being a half demon, half warden, by the way. They're completely oblivious. No clue at all. Yeah. And actually, saying that, the whole reasoning behind everybody knowing about the wardens, and that's it. It was really loose world building. That
that could have been a little tighter.
You know when you have those like 1-page things where it's some kind of like scripture or refers back to a news story or something that tells you a little bit in 1 page the history. This is how the gargoyles, or the wardens in this case, came to be known in the public, in public, and this is, you know, to set that scene. That would have been a freaking help, because I was like, I just accepted that they were there because the explanation was so poor.
Yeah.
But apparently it was important that we know that it was a recent development, basically around the time that she was born / came to the Warden house.
Yeah.
But it was very tenuous and it was not really explained well.
Yeah. All right. Is it time?
Yeah, please. Would you rather? We asked on social media, would you rather be able to transform into a gargoyle, which is technically a grotesque in this issue, by the way, or a demon? And on Facebook, 78% are turning into a gargoyle. On Instagram, 60% are turning into a gargoyle. On Twitter, 67% are turning into a gargoyle. And on TikTok, 61% are demonic. Which surprises no one.
No.
Constance on Facebook said, Amanda had me at snake tattoo named Bambi. Team Slowless, demon, all the way.
Bree on Facebook said gargoyle because the 90s Disney show made me biased.
Fair. Coral on Facebook said, who doesn't love a gargoyle strong as stone with cool wings and horns and you get to look down on everyone, lol. I love Roth and the bad boy demon.
I appreciate that Coral has obviously read this book.
Yeah.
Colin on Facebook says gargoyle, so I can be large and brooding and stand on rooftops in the rain looking out to the horizon. Plus, having no soul would mean I wouldn't be able to get through automatic doors, and that would be really irritating. Ooh, gargoyle means I could fly as well because I would be the type with wings, so I could soar close to people's heads and steal their food like an angry seagull.
Cody on Facebook said gargoyle, but only if the curse is lifted.
Corey on Facebook says gargoyle because baby childhood fantasy would be playing out. Also, I'd have wings and could save on gas.
It's so practical, I love it. Real Jackson Ford on Instagram said demon, way more fun.
At lemonwater66 on TikTok said demon all the way. Demons are way more powerful.
I don't feel like I need to ask you this. I think you're going to pick demon.
Why wouldn't I pick
For
demon?
the listeners of the podcast, Amanda's just looking at me like I'm an idiot.
Seriously, though.
Well, duh.
What are you picking?
I am really torn because, like, a couple of our commenters have inferred Disney's 90s cartoon gargoyles is very influential. However, still wrong. They're grotesques, not gargoyles.
Yes.
So
yeah, that is bothersome.
Plus, I think being a demon's going to be a hell more fun.
It is.
So I'm going to pick demon.
Okay, let's be demons together.
Yes.
All right, next question. Would you rather eat McDonald's or cookie dough?
You see, right, okay, this isn't easy because it's not like McDonald's or cookie dough. It's, are you in the mood for sweet or savoury?
That's not
And
the
at the
question.
moment-
That's not the question, Claire.
I know, but that essentially is what it boils down to when it comes to what I fancy to eat, what I want to eat. And I'm really full off my dinner. I made a huge creamy pasta, so I'm absolutely stuffed. So I crave neither sweet nor savoury right now. I just want water. And I'm not pausing for dramatic effect. I'm genuinely thinking. I'm going to say cookie dough purely because the one and only time I've had McDonald's in recent years, and underscoring years, was at the Halloween or horror movie all-nighter last October I went to, and we got McDonald's breakfast from the 24-hour drive-thru on the way home and sat and ate them in bed before going to sleep at 6 a.m. It was amazing. And other than that, I cannot remember my last McDonald's. However, I did make cookies on Monday and I may have licked the spoon.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to pick cookie dough. As a general eating
Yeah.
thing.
I'm going to pick McDonald's because McDonald's French fries and their Diet Cokes are top notch. You can't go wrong eating McDonald's French fries, even though, you know, I'm sure they're made of all the worst things in the entire world. But I really like
They are very different in America to the UK as well.
Oh, I really...
Because America is beef dripping, I think, fries. It uses meat drips, whereas the UK is vegetarian.
Well,
So they are very different.
yeah. I'm a fan of the fries. However, and now, I don't know why I've just started thinking about it now. I mean, obviously, I'm thinking about it because cookie dough. I have made some really, really delicious cookie sandwiches in the past that are like chocolate cookies, and the inside is an edible raw cookie dough. Like, it doesn't have raw egg in, with chocolate chips mixed in, but it's got that like grittiness that a good cookie dough has, you know, but sandwich in between two chocolate cookies. And now I really want to make them again.
I want you to make them again.
Yeah. Okay.
And then take pictures and send me the hearty food porn.
Oh, yeah.
Videos. Slowly bite into it. The crumb just dribbles down. Would you rather taste emotions, which is a little power that is not mentioned at all in the summary, or would you rather see people's souls?
I think I would rather see souls. Because, like, what if the emotions that are surrounding you that you can taste are, like, negative emotions? That would not taste good. And I imagine it would also smell bad as well.
Oh,
You know, because taste and smell are really closely tied. So I'm going to go with seeing souls. Also, you know, it would be pretty to see lots of colors all over the place.
You'd also know who to avoid if they've got black souls too.
Right. Yeah.
Also, Netflix hit us up. You know, I'm going to say preppy because that's annoying, but two enthusiastic podcasters can see souls and solve murders.
Yeah. I think that sounds like a great plan. Whilst eating McDonald's and cookie dough.
The product placement is there.
Yeah, I can just
You
hear,
just need to grab it.
just see the dollars falling from the sky. Would you rather, sexual assault aside, would you rather live in the Warden compound or the Demon apartment complex?
Demon apartment complex. It sounds fun, and knowing that there's an elevator to hell
I know.
just is hilarious to me.
I love when they're going to take...
You've got to take the stairs,
take
don't
the
take the
stairs.
elevator because it only goes down.
Oh, I love that. And she's like, oh, yikes. Okay.
Yeah, let's not get on that elevator.
Oh, no. Oh, that reminds me of something else. Another scene that I really, really liked was when they're at Roth's apartment and they decide to watch a movie. And they watch The Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves. That was one of my favorite movies for the longest time. So
Really?
yeah. So I really,
wow.
really enjoyed that they watched that movie.
Wow. Revelations abound
No,
here.
yeah, I love that movie. Now I kind of want to watch it.
You need to watch it whilst you're eating those cookies.
And McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't answer
the
this
last
question. No, I didn't really answer this question.
Did you?
I
thought
mean,
it was,
I got excited.
do you need to?
I got excited about the Demon apartment complex, but then I also want to ask you. The Warden compound seems like it's a great big, like, gothic mansion. Obviously because there's gargoyles on the roof. And I just feel like there's probably, like, a room that you can only get to by pulling a certain book off the shelf or
No.
cranking
you see,
down on a candle.
It should, but the wardens are boring as fuck.
Yeah, you're right.
So there's not going to be any secret compartment. There's not going to be a secret library or a route to a dungeon. It's going to be the most basic vanilla medieval style.
Okay.
Like you can literally see the MDF.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not real stone because they are boring.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right.
Boring people.
You're probably right.
It's going to be so practical. Does it serve a purpose? No. It might be fun, but doesn't serve a purpose.
Okay, you're right.
No.
You're right. Okay. Let's live in the Demon apartment complex together.
But the demon apartment complex will be riddled
yeah.
with secret passages. Because demons. Plus it's rent controlled. Because that's demonic.
Oh, demons. What's our last question?
Would you rather... I do have a fun one, but I'm not going to
Just
give
do
it
it. Just do
serious
it.
one.
Just do it. Just do it.
Would you rather every year for the rest of your life have to read White Hot Kiss or After?
White Hot Kiss, hands down. I hated After with every fiber of my being. And White Hot Kiss, there were actually a few things that I enjoyed. There's a sexy demon in White Hot Kiss. After was just terrible. It was terrible. It was the worst book I've ever read. And even though I enjoyed our conversation about it so much, still like one of the most hilarious and best episodes, I hated it. I hated that fucking book. So, White Hot Kiss. I will read it every year. Hands down.
I 100% agree.
Ugh.
I never make me read After ever again. Did I tell you I saw that there's a graphic novel of it?
Why?
Very good question. I get really concerned when I see like in like Facebook book groups people saying how beautiful a story it is and how wonderful it is.
Not,
I mean,
oh,
there's so much abuse. It's abuse.
so much abuse. So
It's not.
much abuse.
People need a reality check.
Do oh,
I would
hate
read
it.
White Hot Kiss because I have not hated the book. Like it's a 3 out of 5 stars for me. I'm being generous.
Sure.
But After was
0 stars.
I think I gave it 1 because I feel like I have to give something because, you know.
Well, if you don't, then, you know, like it doesn't show up the same way in Goodreads.
Exactly. So I gave it, you know, but at least this had some moments of redeeming features.
Yes, it had some redeeming qualities. It had a comically large snake.
Bambi was an MVP. It had an elevator to hell.
It did. It did.
The Devil's Advocate.
It had the Devil's
McDonald's and
Advocate
cookie
and
dough.
McDonald's, and
Twilight is a classic.
it had a zombie getting
A
beaten to
9-year-old
death
playing
with a...
Assassin's Creed, eating chicken.
Yeah.
A zombie being beaten by the arm of a fake skeleton.
Yes. It had some very good moments.
It did. If you could take Layla out and Stacey,
Yeah, you know, if it was just...
it would be a good book.
If it was just...
Can we have Zane and Roth smooching? Can we have those boys get together and make sweet, sweet gargoyle demon love and fix the rift in their species relationship?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I would be
Through
okay
some
with that.
Beautiful, beautiful gay boy love.
I could really get into that. And even though I don't really care for Zane, like, at all.
No. But Roth.
Yeah.
Roth. Zane
Yeah.
would be a bottom, by the way. That's my theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roth would definitely be a top.
Yeah. I agree with that. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway.
Favorite final thought quote. What do you got? What do you got?
I'm going to give you the serious one first.
Okay.
Your life isn't about all you can't do. It's about what you can do. And what you can do, Layla, is get out of the way so Zane and Roth can get together.
Yes.
In fact, it leads nicely to this next quote. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. I think I'm going to break into her house later and cut her hair off, then maybe glue it to her face. Which was the best line from Stacey.
I did love that bit about Stacy. Like, what kind of a prank is that? Why?
The perfect prank. For Ava the bitch. Which I can only imagine her character is later explored, and if it's not, what the frig. Anywho, last quote. Hello, your weird friend here. What's yours?
I've got a couple more. I really thought it was the dumbest thing ever. Some of the exclamations that Layla came out with, but I really did appreciate double crap on a cracker the size of my butt.
That's a big cracker.
Big cracker. For the love of all unholy things, why must you be so difficult? I was raised in hell. You could say I'm socially awkward.
So you're supposed to be quoting the book, Amanda?
Oh, wait. That was me. That was a me quote. True love meant sharing odd food cravings. I so believed that.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I'll wrap up with free will, huh? Damn, it is a bitch. And then you're sent down to the fiery pits.
Ah. Oh, dear me.
Okay. If you liked this, try this. What are you going to suggest?
I am going to suggest a freaking adorable comic. It's volume 1. Mish the Bad Demon by Michelle Lamb. It's adorable. It's so cute. But it's got such a lovely found family friendship message to it as well. And it's a really quick read. I read it literally in like 20 minutes, half an hour of that. But it's worth it. It's worth your time. If you like Garlic and the Vampire / Garlic and the Witch, you'll enjoy Mish the Bad Demon as well. And it's from the summary's from faber.co.uk. How far would you go to save your home and find yourself? Bullied by the other demons, 12-year-old Mish is more likely to be reading magazines for Palmyra City, the fairy realm, and fangirling about the fairy princesses. But when disaster strikes and all the demon kind is threatened, Mish must join a journey to other worlds in search of help. As luck would have it, she meets a fairy princess right away. Things in the fairy realm aren't looking so perfect either, though. As Mish makes surprising new friends and unites a band of outcasts, she learns there's much more to being a demon than she ever realised, and learning to love herself might just uncover the secret to saving her home.
Aww.
It's really cute, but there's a big bad overarch storyline that I'm excited to read volume 2 to see if there's how it progresses.
Nice.
What have you got?
Well, I am going to suggest Sweet Evil by Wendy Higgins. What if there were teens whose lives literally depended on being bad influences? This is the reality for sons and daughters of fallen angels. Tender-hearted Southern girl Anna Witt was born with a sixth sense to see and feel emotions of other people. She's aware of a struggle within herself, an inexplicable pull toward danger, but it isn't until she turns 16 and meets the alluring Caden Rowe that she discovers her terrifying heritage and her willpower is put to the test. He's the boy your daddy warned you about. If only someone had warned Anna. Forced to face her destiny, will Anna embrace her halo or her horns?
Horns. Do we have any Nudity Spotlight this week as well?
We do. We definitely do. This one is called Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Merrer. We got this in an email and it sounds like right up our alley. Assistant wanted. Notorious, high-ranking villain seeks loyal, level-headed assistant for unspecific office duties, supporting staff for random mayhem, terror, and other dark things in general. Discretion a must. Excellent benefits. With ailing family to support, Evie Sage's employment status isn't just important, it's vital. So when a mishap with Renadon's most infamous villain results in a job offer, naturally, she says yes. No job is perfect, of course, but even less so when you develop a teeny crush on your terrifying, temperamental, and undeniably hot boss.
Ooh.
Don't find evil so attractive, Evie. Just when she's getting used to severed heads suspended from the ceiling and the odd squish of an errant eyeball beneath her heel, Evie suspects this dungeon has a huge rat, and not just the literal kind, because something rotten is growing in the kingdom of Renadon, and someone wants to take the villain and his entire nefarious empire out. Now, Evie must not only resist drooling over her boss, but also figure out exactly who is sabotaging his work and ensure he makes them pay. After all, a good job is hard to find.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing. And its expected publication is September 5th this year.
Thank you for checking that out.
I love the cover as well. It is amazing.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I think we need to have a book theme next year, like based on CV Builder.
Okay.
And because that sounds absolutely amazing. I am excited to read that one.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love it when we get these emails through with all these exciting books.
I know, it's amazing.
That sounds so good. I'm going to put on our 2024 schedule.
I think that you need to. It's very
See,
important.
Claire is scheduling.
Oh, so that's it for this episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss Fallen by Lauren Kate. Look out for our Would You Rather polls on social media. Don't forget about our book club and monthly challenges on Facebook. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover-themed merchandise. And become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com, follow us on Instagram at fictionalhangover, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fictionalhangover, and on Twitter at fictionalhangover, no ER. If you like this episode, check out our others, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss out. And finally, special thanks to Liz Emerson for her music. You can find her on Facebook and Patreon. Thanks for listening.